Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? This is Karthik Poovanam. I'm a leadership coach and author. How are you? In most of my workshops, people keep asking me, why do people badmouth about other person? Why is this bad mouthing a living reality in many places? There are so many theories about this, there are so many concepts about that, but essentially, whenever a person is trying to badmouth about another person, what it essentially means for a very large, I won't say in all the contexts, there can be really some very legitimate reasons as to why certain people are speaking bad about others, but a lot of people take a sadistic pleasure in talking bad about others. So this video is specifically for those who are trying to talk bad about people for no reason, trying to spread rumors about one another for no reason in a bad sense. And this is precisely happening because of an individual wounded nature, IWN. Whenever a person is wounded from within, that person does not find any harmony in his or her life. Whenever they're not finding any harmony in their life, all that they try to do is extract some sadistic pleasure by trying to talk bad about others. Suppose you go out and say that there is this beautiful beach which I've been, then the person will say, oh, I've gone over there, it's like a shitty place, people just shit there. So they just want to really damage your experience whenever you're trying to talk something very great. You are trying to talk something very nice. And whenever you're trying to feel nice about yourself, they are trying to, belittle your experience. You just want to feel happy, and the other person is wanting to make you feel terrible. This is because of internal wounded nature, IWN. I know a family where there's brother and sister, and most of the time the brother always tries to belittle the sister because he's wounded from within, and it's very very apparent. And if you look at the humanity now, Karthik, what is this wound that you're talking about? And where is this wound? Is it like a wound where you cut and there is blood which is coming? Sometimes if you don't attend to it, there is pus formation that happens, and then over a period of time it goes and becomes very very fatal, where you have to amputate the hand or the leg where the wound has happened. What is this wound that you're talking about? Inner wound. Where is this inner wound? Well, this is not a wound where there is blood which is going to come out. This is not a wound where there is pus formation. This is a wound where you are deeply hurt within because of certain reasons, because of various reasons which has led to a psychological warfare within yourself. And this psychological warfare has caused an enormous self-torture. Unable to bear that self-torture, people want to remove that frustration to somebody, on somebody. And this gives them a pervert sadistic pleasure that, okay, hey, listen, oh, I'm not happy, so I can at least make the other person also feel bad. So when another person is also feeling bad, then you feel, oh, you got company. So you feel that you are no longer lonely. Now you need to pay attention to this very very deeply. Now this is where the deep psychology comes into place, and very rarely do people explore this. People are wounded, and wounded people often find themselves lonely. So what they try to do is, whenever a person is happy, they try to include the other person as a part of this journey of feeling wounded, by trying to talk bad about them, by trying to abuse them, by trying to mentally and emotionally create a certain conflict in their mind, and trying to pull them low. They're feeling high, they want to pull them low. And once they start feeling low, then this person will feel, yes, I've added one more person to the list. Now I no longer feel lonely. So there is a happiness, pervert sense of happiness that is experienced because of including another person into this wounded journey. And this becomes a very very vicious trap when a person wants to include more and more number of people in this journey. Now this is exactly what has happened in marriage also. If you look at it, many married people, they know that they're wounded. Many married people, They know that they're emotionally going through a lot of torture, mentally enormous torture. Their children are not listening to them, but they do not put any of these things in their Facebook posts, any of these things in Instagram posts, any of these things in their TikTok videos. Now the TikTok is banned in India. I don't know when it's going to be open. Any of these things in whatever they are mentioning to others, they just say, oh, it's so beautiful, marriage is such a fantastic experience, we go for holidays, family, everyone, relatives, children, and they put one photograph of them and their children, and everybody thinks, oh, it's very nice, but deep down they know what they are doing. They know that they're internally feeling terrible, and somewhere there is this sadistic hunger in them and a desire to have more and more people into this circle. And that's why they keep promoting it. You look at it, which person has promoted or put a photograph of a baby child when it is first being born, how dirty it stinks? Come on, why don't you put that? Because that's the reality, right? When the baby child comes, how much the baby cries. When the baby shits, you gotta clean that shit. Isn't this all important? Is this all not necessary? Is this all not happening? Look at those moments when you were very frustrated. Take that photograph of your frustration and arguments. Put it on the put it on the Facebook wall. Put it on the Instagram. Write it in the Twitter. But no, you would not do that. Because somewhere, if you do that, people will become intelligent enough not to get into this trap. Your children are not answering your own phone calls, and you don't want to be honest about it. Any number of parents who come up to me and they say that my child is not interested in the family functions, please, train them. My child is, stealing money from my home, please go, counsel them. Sir, my child has got, into this love affair, kindly counsel her. Come on. Ask yourself, are you honest? Are you an honest person? You yourself lie and you want your children to be honest. Now, this kind of a terrible thing, unfortunately, is never ever recorded and reported in the Facebook. Until and unless it becomes like a terrible and out of control event where it gets reported in the newspapers and other things like that. So you need to understand one thing very, very carefully. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen who are watching this video so far, you got to understand one thing. People are lonely and they want to include the other person as a part of that journey. And there's the same thing that marriage also, unfortunately, today's marriage I'm talking about, not the marriage which used to happen earlier. Today's marriage especially is nothing but a warfare of emotions. Is like a trade between a husband and a wife, the boy and the girl on the basis of qualifications, or the basis of property. It's never ever about love. And when this kind of a projection is being hid, it is very, very natural that a lot of people will think or might think that it is going to be a great journey. Why do you want to marry? Why do you want to have kids? Because you think it's going to be a great journey. Now let's look at the ideal situation. Would you be interested in sacrificing your life and involving yourself so deeply in your best capacity, where you are able to provide and nurture your child and gift your child whatever or she wants or he wants, give him the best education or the kind of education that they desire, and not force them into anything of the social fabric, and yet be very, very happy when they are leading their own life, they don't take your phone calls? Are you very, very happy parent in that angle? No, you expect loyalty back. Now, this is the big problem. This is where the problem begins. So, when you are in a state where you are not interested in expecting anything back, that is the moment to become a parent. But this is never preached, this is never said, this is never spoken, and that's where all the torture begins. And you are just going to be a part of that company where people are lonely, people are wounded, and they want more people to be included. Let me tell you, there is no family that I know of which is very, very happy. There is no happy family in the world. This only happens in movies, and even in movies, it's completely made up. You need to understand, a movie is a makeup. It is fake. It's not real. Somebody writes the script. Let's say you love somebody, should you not have the expressions genuinely said to that woman? Or would you wait and write to your friend, please send me something? No, a lot of people do this. They ask their friends, come on, can you send me some write up? No, this is not love, this is manipulation. And movie is nothing but manipulating your five senses. And therefore, do not think what's happening in the movies to be real. Do not think what's happening in the Facebook to be real. Do not think what's happening in Twitter to be real. Do not think what's happening in Instagram to be real. And when I say I'm talking about in context to this marriage photographs and other things. And especially why people are bad mouthing, if you look at it. Now, if you look at the family structure, it itself is a big bad mouthing experience. People talk badly to each other. There is a hierarchical respect which is given. People disrespect a person who is younger, and there is respect that is demanded and extorted for the people who have lived in this planet for more years. They call themselves grandmother, grandfather, uncle, auntie, all of these names which are very, very terrible in fact. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want you to pay close attention to this. Bad mouthing is beginning from the family and extending it to offices. All the people that you see in the offices have come from families. So, family has a very, very deep and very profound impact on the formation of bad mouthing experience. In fact, the formative stages of bad mouthing experience has actually began in the family. And that is where I have been speaking about marriage. Because without marriage, there is no possibility of a family. How can you have a family without marriage? So therefore, these are all interlinked, and to just remove, sideline one topic and the other is not a great thing if you want to have a wholesome understanding of why people are bad mouthing. You cannot negate the influences which have led you to take certain decisions like marriage, getting into a loop, becoming wounded, and then trying to make other person also feel wounded and lonely. You want to include the other person as a part of yourself and this journey. So this all loop is very, very important for you to understand, and that's why it's very, very necessary that if you get this video, you will understand why bad mouthing is actually happening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Karthik Poovanam. I'm a leadership coach and author, and I'm in this absolutely amazing jungle experiencing an absolutely profound time amidst the woods. Stay blessed, stay energized, and have a very, very wonderful time. And I'll see you in another absolutely amazing video. Great day.